So, we're live. There's nobody here, but for posterity's sake, greetings and good evening, gamers. I'm gonna hit new game on Venetica. Here we see Venetica. I think she wears whatever the last outfit you had on her in the recent save game. She's got a very intense look. This is Scarlet, I should say, our fixed female protagonist. We're gonna get to know her in her, I will say, very first-time D&D character backstory intro we're gonna get here. But yeah, the menu. First note before I even get into any literary analysis of what I think of the writing or design. You hear that little like oldie 1800 typewriter sound when I mouse over the fucking buttons? Yeah, it's nice. Good UI design. They get points. I haven't even fucking hit a new game yet. They're getting points. Alright. We're in a new game. Get ready because this intro cutscene is going to be a little... Hey, Q Prime.
Hey! How you doing, Koopy? I'm here too, believe it or not.
Indeed. 7 moons ago, we're getting some backstory. This is the very diverse cast of villains, Pat, in case you want to see them.
Did it work?
Hot.
There's no more blood.
Nice.
Are we still in the world of the living?
Oh my god,
Yes,
what?
we are. We will be here forever, unless... I feel a weak presence. Just a spark of life, but it could ruin it all.
But you said that
Silence.
no one could...
We need to find the source and remove it.
I will do what you please, my new Archon. But where shall we start looking?
A lot's going on with the direction of that scene. None of it very good, you might note, from audio to visual, but you see that they've got ambition, and we'll certainly appraise the quality of that ambition.
Amazing.
Oh, this is a weird... I did not have this weird thing stuck over my screen the last time I played this intro. Hold on. Weird glitch.
I can't believe it's midsummer.
Hold on. If I fucking put out and do it in again, is it gonna fuck up on me once more? Because like the way it zooms around San Pasquale in on the protagonist is pretty alright. Alright, well, in answer to your question there, I think it's going about this way, which is to say I'm having to hit the X. I'm hoping that whenever it fires up this time, it's not going to glitch the starting cinematic. I didn't have this the first time I played the games. This isn't a first impression. I've played through about enough of Chapter 1 to decide that there was something to discuss here.
Amazing.
We're again going to see our incredible globe-trotting cast of villains.
I'm gonna turn the audio on this time.
You're not gonna hear anything.
Did it work? There's no more blood.
Did it work?
Are we still in the world of the living?
Yes, we are. We will be here forever, unless... I feel a weak presence. Just a spark of life, but it could ruin it all.
But you said that
Silence.
no one could...
We need to find the source and remove it.
I will do what you please, my new Archon. But where shall we start looking?
A very normal thing to do when you're asking someone where should we start looking is to look menacingly off to the side, rather than at the person you're talking to. It's villain etiquette 101, really.
I mean, that's how I usually talk.
Today. So that was 7 moons ago. This is today. Alright, it's not fucking up this time. We see the cliffs of San Pasquale. We see, like, the vines. We see the rope bridge. We see the bonfire. Everyone's having a nice time. We got kegs. We got tankards. And who's this MMO protagonist looking motherfucker with a banner on talking to our girl Scarlet here in the white
I
dress?
can't believe it's midsummer already. Time seems to go by so quickly.
Yet, no matter how long I spend with you, it never seems enough. You know, I'm going tomorrow, so did you consider my offer?
I did. And I would love to come with you. But I don't think I can. My destiny is not to be a hero.
But my destiny is to be at your side.
here.
Just say the word, and I will stay here with you.
No, Benedict, you can't stay here. I mean, look at you, standing here in that shiny mail. Don't waste your time in this village. Go and begin your training. I know it was always your dream. Me, I belong here. No matter what the people say, this is home to me. I'm no adventurer.
Don't worry. To me, saving the world sounds so much easier than giving you all that you deserve. I won't be away for long, I promise.
Careful. Don't promise things you can't keep.
Hey, Benedict! Come over here! Something's wrong!
Paul, you really know how to spoil a special moment, don't you? Wait here. Don't you dare go away.
Oh no! Who are these people? Run for your lives!
Or are these people? People with really bad fucking aim is what we're going to surmise from that opening salvo. So this is how
Quick!
gameplay
Come
begins.
over here!
You'll notice that there is kind of a weird echo to some of the voices. I'm actually torn as to whether or not that was a deliberate audio decision due to things that we're going to learn about her, shall we say, special protagonistness after we step outside of town. But right now it's like, oh, you WASD to move as this bridge burns. It's really cool. As far as I know, you don't go back to that place you started on. And this whole first chapter is wrapping around an area we can basically already look out over. Now, hold on. Is my mouse being fucking funky here? Well, actually, let me run back here. Yeah, so we're up on San Pasquale, we dodge the flames. There are some people in some very funny tall hats murdering our village. Backstory of a D&D character, basically. A bell absolutely wrecked. People waiting for us.
Scarlet! No! Stay there! I'll be with you in a moment.
I'll be with you in a moment. What a charged thing to say as you see your love like plummet.
Oh no! Help!
Sean,
Anybody help me!
Sean, be with me.
So pick up poker. Yep. So we're coming here, we're gonna wall up the door. fight. We can already see our dress starting to fall apart a bit. Clothing is a gameplay element here, so we'll talk more about that later when we can do the judges tomorrow. But this is the basics of combat. Left click, die, there's rolling, there's dodging that we'll get into. Overall, it does not begin in a revolutionary mode. Put away our weapon, we can check this dude's corpse for 9 ducats. I actually didn't realize that you could loot people already. So, this old man was joking on how after we saved him. We gotta save him.
Damn, these guys are bad at their fucking jobs.
They are. There's actually an in-text explanation for why these well-trained assassins are losing to peasants, but it comes up later, and it was really kind of, yeah. So these guys are like, oh, that's casual. What's the weight automatically? Oh, Benedict was on the roof for some reason. That guy wasn't, Boys, we know 2 things about this dude. 1, Scarlet's crazy for him. 2, he's a badass.
And he's about to die.
Yep. We are 13 minutes in.
What?
Counting
Benedict!
the false start. It's like 10 minutes in, this man's dead.
Wasn't as easy as I thought.
No. No. This can't be.
You are safe now. That's
R.I.P. my dude.
Don't
all
do
that
this
matters.
to me. Please.
I will be with you always.
Oh, no.
More true than he perhaps predicted at the time, that he'll be with her always. So Scarlet, we establish her rejection of the hero's call immediately. Oh, I just want to live in this fucking town. And he's like, well, if you ask me to stay, I'll stay. And he's like, no, I don't ask you to stay. I know you want to go. Now he's dead. I bet she feels like a dick now, huh? Except, you know, her choice wasn't really gonna... It was an illusion of choice, much as one might find in a video game that has choices. And now we find ourselves in the JPEG dimension. Look at this background here. Who is this guy?
There is no time to mourn your loss.
What the fuck?
What is this? A dream?
You are the only one who stands between life and eternal darkness.
I don't understand. What is this about?
What is this about, creepy
You
eldritch
must
man?
heed my words. You have powers that you do not
We
know
are in
of
the
yet.
green light cave.
You must learn to use these powers.
You must learn to use
It's
these
essential.
powers. I have sorcered you
talk about
away
powers.
inside the glow stick
I
for
have
just this
no
moment.
powers. My love is dead and I could do nothing to help. I'm no warrior. Why did all this happen?
All will be explained soon. But we must move quickly.
A classic,
There is
all will
much
be
to learn,
explained
for only
soon.
you have the power to grow, the power to change the fate of your world.
My world?
All will be explained.
There is
much to
nothing of
learn
value in
and
this
little
world
time.
for me anymore. Whatever it is you want from me,
If
you'll have
only
to
we'd
find somebody
identified
else.
you earlier.
And she
Listen, my
straight up
daughter.
to Joker-fied.
I will give you
She
my
said,
power
listen, my
and
daughter.
protection.
A really important
There are
line.
many ways you can utilize my power. You will be able to see people again. See people that passed from your world.
Benedict.
Alternatively, you could use your force to crush those who did this. Seek them out and wreak your revenge. Will that comfort you?
And this is our first dialogue choice of the game. Let me get my fucking face out of the way. So, there are going to be choices in this game that matter. This one, technically speaking, is just like, do you care more about revenge or do you care more about Benedict? And there's I am undecided, which I think Blurb mentioned taking in her playthrough, and that's what I took before as well. I'm going to say I want to see Benedict again.
Yes. Give me the power to see Benedict again.
So it is love you seek. Whichever road you choose, your destination remains the same. You must find the Moonblade.
You must
Find where
the
I hid it.
Moonblade.
Then travel to Venice and use it to defeat the undead Archon.
Travel to Venice.
The
defeat
Moonblade?
Undead Archon.
Undead Archon? I don't understand.
Proper nouns.
My
I
time
don't
draws
understand
near.
proper nouns either.
I can't remain in this world much longer. But do not worry. I will watch over you. There is no stronger ally than me. Now sleep, my daughter.
But I have so many questions.
Sleep. All will be easier tomorrow.
But
Sleep.
That's me telling Pat to go to bed. But sleep.
Amazing.
I also love that zoom out through the hole in the roof.
I'm so sorry.
I just had such a horrible
Oh, it's the old
dream.
fucker you saved
Benedict
twice.
died, and I met...
This is actually a different
think
old
he was
fucker who's
deaf.
way more
I
important
was
to your
told to find a
character,
weapon
so
and go
you
to
probably should
Venice.
introduce her
I'm so
sooner story,
confused.
but you know.
What does it all mean?
Oh no, you mean you don't know? That just makes this all the harder. What you think you dreamt was no dream, although I wish with all my heart that it was.
You mean Benedict is dead? But I still feel his presence as if he was with me, right here.
Many of us have died. My Joel, too, will never return home.
It feels as though there's a veil obscuring my mind. I can't even think clearly.
Don't worry. We all feel it. I'm sure it will soon pass, but you need to get moving. You can't stay here. Find something new to wear. Change out of those tattered clothes. Go ask Mateo. He has a daughter of your age.
Mateo?
The blacksmith at the end of the village road. You really are confused. He knows a fair bit about blades, too.
So the first quest of this game, to be clear here, debatably, is, Ayo, bitch, go get the Moonblade. But also debatably, Ayo, bitch, your thread's trash. Go get some real drip, okay? Go talk to the fucking smith about that. So, we're off to some kind of a start here in Venetica. You can ask her about a lot of things. This is kind of like where the game is going to open up and let you explore a little, but not too far, as we're going to find out. If you try and walk out in the ripped dress, you will be thought patrolled.
Holy shit, amazing.
They don't do it in that context, although there are some things regarding the acquisition of the clothing that we're going to draw attention to. Anyway, but no, I don't know, I'm trying to spoil too much, but I will say from that cutscene, I dislike a lot of things about that cutscene, but I like one thing. One, the figure you were talking to looks like a fucking illithid or like Lovecraftian like outer like intelligence entity, and I really like the art direction on him. If you've read the Steam store description, though, you've already spoiled on who that character is, and if you read your fucking quest log, you're also spoiled on who it is.
It's your father, isn't it?
So it's not just relation, because he says my daughter twice, which I actually didn't pick up on as being like a literal thing my first go around.
Mm-hmm.
But he's death.
Got it.
Like capital D, death. And
Mm-hmm.
you are death's daughter. And this woman is taking you as her own, but you have no family. And this is a thing that comes up again when you go to get the Moonblade, where someone's will has literally left the Moonblade to like the child of no family, or whatever the fuck they call it. Ask her about last night. You can ask her about my family. Let's just mine some more of this dialogue and listen to that nice echoey sound, which I believe is because she's between life and death until an event that happens when she walks out of town.
Why did this happen last night?
I know this must be hard for you to understand, but there are dark forces out there searching for you. I've always tried to protect you as if you were my own daughter.
Old
but
lady
this
here
village is
implying she
safe
knows
no
about
more.
it.
You must leave as soon as possible. Get as far away as you can.
And
What
your
are
advice is
these
basically
dark
get the fuck
forces?
out.
Hush, child. The time for speaking has passed. You must take your leave. But wherever you go and whatever you do, you must avoid the mountains at night. Creatures from hell roam freely, and no mortal's blade can cut their undead flesh. If you see them, you must run.
So at night,
as
creatures
fast
with
as you
resistance to
can.
non-magical
You are
weapons come
only
out.
a weak child. You would be no match
What?
for their
Game
strength.
design.
Now hurry. Go.
She just told us, whatever you do, avoid the mountains at night. Creatures no mortal blade can cut come out, and your weapon, any weapon be useless against undead flesh.
Amazing.
You always cared for me.
I cared for you since you were given to me as a child. I loved you as my own.
My parents.
I cannot tell you anything about them. This is for your own good. It would not do you well to hear it anyway. Trust me.
So she knows who our parents are, and she knows dark forces chase us. And yes, Q Prime, death, capital D. And she's basically like, yeah, don't worry your little head about that. Just get yourself some new threads and get the fuck out of town. We're gonna ask about and also, no, she was like, oh, you better watch out. There's things that are gonna kill the shit out of you because you can't hurt them because you don't have a magical weapon. Here's what she has to say when we ask her about the Moonblade.
Have you ever heard of a thing called a moonblade?
Hell and poison! There'll be no talk of such things in my home, however crumbled it may be.
Hell and
Maybe
poison!
Mateo will dare answer your questions.
She's basically just like, how dare you speak of this thing that you didn't know existed 12 seconds ago. And maybe the guy I'm sending you to go get the clothes from will talk to you about it.
Goodbye.
The rest is just like, you sleep in beds. She basically tutorializes that. So, the game begins. You're at a bonfire you know is about to go south. Shit gets fucked, and you walk out. You walk out to this, and there is like a nice mix of natural beauty. We see some butterflies on the way to the Twisted Rope Bridge, and just like devastation. You're walking out through a fucking wall, like, or there's still the fucking door frame, but obviously this shit got wrecked. Again, love the zoom out. Very nice painting here, presumably of a like a Venetian harbor. And here's the church the bell came rolling out of. Come near it, you hear a little like spoiler warning, as we unlock our powers, she can see dead people. And, you know, spookiness in the world might be a sign that you can come there and interact with that a little. So obviously this world looks kind of like crusty Play-Doh, but it has its charm, it has its beauty. The light and bloom and, like, subdued smoke effects do give you a sense of something kind of beautiful here in San Pasquale. By the way, let's go check this lady's name. So her name is Jarta. My name is Scarlet. My lover's name was Benedict. We live in, as just flashed on the screen, the town of San Pasquale. Where the fuck are we from?
Amazing.
You saved so many of us. You clearly have the heart of a warrior.
Clearly
Take
have the
this
heart of a
necklace.
warrior.
May it bring you good fortune, or at least a healthy meal when you reach the windmill.
At least a healthy meal when you reach the windmill. Game graphics that remind you of happier times, ironically enough. I'm glad, Q Prime, as we here in this village burned out, that reminds you of happier times. Where is the windmill? So this guy is like, hey, maybe you'll get some good luck, or maybe you could buy a meal with it, as he gives us an old amulet. His name's just a villager, so he's... There are many generic NPCs who don't even bother to give names to populate the world. You often have to do this in a video game, especially when every character is voice acted. And this is an old guy I've been seeing a few times, so I think that we can go ahead and assume that the old man we see running around and who we saved may not actually be like a discreet person. I think you should go into his house and talk to him. I think he's just also named Villager. We'll see. Where is the windmill?
Where is this windmill?
It's a tavern near the bridge to Venice.
It's a tavern near the bridge to Venice. Very nice. A windmill tavern. Very D&D again. Can't leave yet and thank him.
Thank you.
You can't actually refuse his necklace. I think you can refuse other gifts you're going to get offered here. Here we see some nice cocks.
Hey, Scarlet, I need to talk to you.
Old man in skullcap is here.
You saved my life. How can I ever repay you? I know it's not much, but here, take these ducats. They're all that I have.
Right, so my man here does not even have shoes. He is a peasant, right? So we can refuse his offer of ducats, or we can just thank him. I'm gonna say he's too poor. I'm gonna let him keep his present. I don't actually know that ever has an effect in the game. I don't know whether or not there's a karma system, but things you do that are more or less fucked up do have an impact, and there are two endings to the game. So, you know, Scarlet, she seems nice, naive, a bit now thrust into great events.
I'm not looking for a reward.
You truly are a hero.
No, he says we truly are. We get 20 XP. Oh. I actually don't think I got XP when I took the money. It's interesting. So rather than having like a good side, like bad side, they just straight up give you XP rather than money. In a way, you just ask, do you want XP or money? But that's not what's presented to the player. Mechanically, they just chose to incentivize certain action. Although the 20 XP blip was so minor, one could have easily missed it. Let's talk to this guy who called us over.
Thanks for your help. Still, you must leave the village. As long as you're here, we're not safe.
What do you mean?
Those assassins, we still don't know where they came from. But they were looking for a stranger. And you're the only villager that no one knows the next of kin. They came for you. Oh, and beware of the Patrono brothers.
Beware of the
They
Patrono
hold you
brothers.
responsible for what happened and swore revenge should they see you again.
So this is the setup. This man has let us know, like, hey, we know that they were looking for a stranger. I don't know how they know they were looking for a stranger. You're the only person in town nobody knows the next of kin of. That somehow qualifies you as a stranger, even though you've like lived here your whole life. And the Patrono brothers blame you for the attack on the village, and I think increasingly we're going to learn everybody does blame Scarlet for the attack on the village, and they've sworn revenge. So there's two dudes out there who've sworn revenge because it took blaming the victim to the next level, really. You'll also notice when we get near the waterfall, it completely overtakes the audio. Sound design, kids. This is
Just like that one tavern in the Dishonored game.
Now then, I think it's time to go to the only Italian man living in San Pasquale. Well, first we go to Lilia.
So many good men have died. Who's going to mine the copper ore now?
Now, we know who's about her Sigma female grind set because she just said, so many good men have died, who's going to mine the copper ore now? She is a merchant, and she's the first merchant you meet in the game and can do business
Can you
with.
tell me more about the copper?
As you know, this village depends on the copper
We
mines.
give a nice cut to
I'm
what
a
the copper
merchant.
mines look like,
Until
as you
now,
know.
I've sold
So we
the ore to traders
should
in
know,
Venice.
so it's nice
But
the
most of the
camera
miners
cuts
were
to show
killed.
us.
There's no more food on people's tables and there's nothing left to sell. At this rate, we'll have to abandon San Pasquale lest we starve to death. I think a few of the survivors went down to Ivy Creek. I'm sure they can tell you more. In the meantime, if you find any copper ore on the way down to the mines, I'll buy it off you for a fair price. I need to keep trading somehow. Oh, and before you go, I have an old Imperial sword on sale. It might be useful to defend yourself in the wilderness. If you bring me enough copper ore, I'll be happy to sell you the blade.
So,
Goodbye.
you can do business with her. She's selling for 100 ducats a fucking
Hello.
sword.
I would like to trade.
We ain't got no 100 ducats right now. We have a fire poker. Item description barely suitable for combat, and 16 ducats. So
You couldn't take any of the swords from the fucking dead people you killed?
no, although that's gonna change the moment that they start jumping us outside of town. The main thing we will have to sell. Oh, 20 XP, Mateo Smithy. You also get XP for discovering new locations, which is fun.
No, that's convenient.
Yeah. So here we are, we're in his smithy. Mateo, the only person, as far as I'm aware, based on my knowledge, my limited knowledge of Italian names, in San Pasquale with an Italian name. I'm gonna come upstairs and casually take stuff from his chest. I misspoke earlier. I do know there is a reputation system in this game. And if you get caught stealing and shit like that, you'll lose reputation. If you do good stuff, you'll gain reputation. People will react to you. But it's only your reputation in Venice. So things you do in the village and things you do during a part of the game where you're not in Venice as well don't impact your rep. Which is kind of interesting, and I don't actually hate it because, you know, reputation is kind of like, you know, how you're known in an area. So without fucking Facebook, like, how is anyone gonna know she's canceled? Hey Mateo, we're gonna give her the once over to your place here. I get another chest here.
This game truly needs a Twitter mechanic so that you can lose reputation by saying transphobic things on it.
Indeed, I think I don't think anybody in Game Club would do that, but that would be an immersive element. Copper ore, price of 2. So she said, "Hey, go get that copper ore and sell it to me. You'll be able to get a." I think I'm like, oh, it's like a quest. Will she trade me like 10 copper ore for fucking the sword? Assuming that you had no ducats, and no source of good ducats came to you. You go an entire life copper ore, sale price of 2, you need to sell her 50 pieces of fucking copper ore. Like, there's a bit of it around, and even in town, but it's a little ridiculous. Now, Mateo is obviously, like, all points to Mateo, but let's say we're like, oh, fuck you, Mateo, we want to walk out of town. Here's the upper bridge. Here's Kazim and Tinker. Just keeping a running tally of the names. I walk out of Mateo's shop, past Lilia's stall, to meet Kazim and Tinker, guarding the fucking bridge.
Hey, stop! What are you, sleepwalking, going into the wilderness with a torn nightdress? There are still thugs out there. For your own safety, you should at least wear something you can't trip over. The blacksmith has a daughter of your age, or so I've heard. Maybe he could help you out. Mind you, his daughter's a bit more the fully figured type, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so this is the beginning of an incredibly shitty element early in this game that made me question whether or not I thought we should GameClub it.
Hey, there is... mind you...
They refer to the Mateo's daughter as fully figured. There's a few things that could mean. Mateo himself will verify it when we go take her dress. I don't know if she died in the attack, to clarify. I don't know if we're taking a dead woman's clothing, or if she just wasn't in town when the attack went down. But before we talk to him, I am going to poke my head up top real quick. Hop on a ladder. And they let you traverse this, like, fucked up rooftop. And it's nice, right? But it's kind of like, you know, one imagines... If this is a role-playing game, right? Pat might be like, hey, Lee, make me a really fucked up, destroyed village, like, after attack map for an attack. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm making really fucked, like, here the roof is gone, all the way down to, like, the ground floor. This shit is fucked. Something had to knock the bell out of the bell tower. There's this wooden, like, there was already, like, intended access to these roofs, kind of. Which, you know, fair enough. But, we saw them use fire arrows and stab people with swords. How the fuck did this happen? Because, like, that's not gonna break apart the stone. It's just one of those video game logic things I think the game is expected us not to inspect. There are some really cool, like, scaffold bits back here. I think it makes kind of sense to be verticality in a mountain village. We hear again a weird... of the dead. We can't do anything about that at the moment. Come down here, we hear very loudly rushing water. We've basically explored the upper part of the village. Mateo's house is on the lower part of the village. So we're going to go talk to him before we head down. This is, I'm pretty sure, a long-running NPC. So this is your first impression of this guy. I really love, in particular, how he's going to describe his assistant.
Hey,
oh shit,
Scarlet,
hey milady,
come inside my beautiful smithy. Sorry things aren't exactly shipshape. Last night the roof sprung a leak, and my apprentice got a bit arrow-sick in the corner. Then to top it all off, I had to break my pliers over the long hat of an assassin. Apart from that, it's been business as usual. So, what can I do for you?
So this man, right? Like, he got, like, her town got D&D backstoried last night. And he's like, oh, my roof sprung a bit of a leak. There's, like, a ballista hole through it, like a catapult hole through the roof. Yeah, we'll have to come by for future Jack Boxery. Yeah. And he's like, oh, my assistant got a little arrow sick in the corner. so, you know, and you don't see any living assistant now, do you? So... seems like you know with a bad case. I'm like, well, otherwise not. I'm fine. And also, look at Mateo's incredibly. They said like, all right, give me a whatever our 3D engine is, Mario. Look at this fucking mustache.
Amazing. God, such a weird decision.
And this blacksmith is now about to become, I think, our game-long tailor. Because the way this mechanic works is that you tend to loot dead men. and you can sometimes, particularly with some of the better enemies, get their armor, but it's not tailored to fit you. So you have to come take it to Mateo, who will tailor it to fit you. And he's going to tailor up one of his daughter's dresses to not be a dress. A lot of questions, but yeah, I'm going to ask about the Moonblade. We can offer to help him. We can ask about his future, and we can be looking for new clothes. Amazingly, all 4 of these things are fucking quests. This man is the Nexus. So let's just start knocking him out.
I'm looking for some new clothes.
Looking as lovely as you are? Well, I can't help you find any clothes, but I've got a daughter about the same age as you. She keeps her clothes in a chest at my house, which is just across the road. If you can find them, feel free to help yourself. Just make sure you bring them back here for me. I'll give them a quick tweak, just to make sure they fit.
So this man just told us, hey, my daughter keeps her clothing in a chest in her room in my house across the street. If you can find them, they're all yours. This man's been very flippant about the fact that there's, like, been, like, mass scale death and destruction. So, at this point, do we think the daughter is dead? So he's like, she won't be needing them anymore? Or is she just going to come back and be like, wow, the village is destroyed. Also, Dad, where the fuck are my clothes? Or is she just home and we're expected to sneak in? We don't know. We don't know yet.
Fucking weird.
Hey, how can I help you?
And we can ask him about his future, which it makes me think he's going to become a very long-running NPC, because he's going to talk here for a moment about where we might want to go. What a nice man, probably. Well, he's the guy who's going to make our armor all game, Lady Saito, and they're not going to let us out in a ripped nightgown, so Scarlet's going to have to get decently friendly with him.
What are you going to do now?
Well, what do you think? I don't have many options. I'll go on working till the end of things, or at least until I find a better smithy. Like in Venice. Oh, how I'd long for a smithy there. If someone offered me a smithy in Venice, I'd move there right away. Oh, but wait. It'd take me about 10 lifetimes' work till I could afford such a smithy. So, forget about it.
You ask this dude about his life plans, and he's like, I'll work until I die. Unless maybe I move to a really nice city with a huge studio. Except it would cost 10 times what it'll make in a lifetime. Forget about it. Which is obviously an allusion to the fact that yo ass going to Venice. The game's called Venetica. And this guy, you're going to realize, has a ongoing mechanical role in the game. So I think you're going to have to get this man's ass to Venice so he can be your smith. Now let's ask him about the Moonblade.
Do you know anything about a Moonblade?
Oh, cripes. The cursed weapon of the dead.
So it exists. That wasn't just a dream.
Nah. Yes, possibly. Look, I'm not really in the mood for such fairy tales. This thing was supposedly forged from a metal that is not from this earth, and it's said that undead creatures can be killed with it. If you ask me, there's no such thing as a Moonblade, nor are there undead creatures roaming around. These are tales of the mountains and the miners. Of course, if it is real and you do find that blade, I'd very much like to have a look at it. In the meantime, you better use some real weapons and learn to defend yourself. I'm sure that brawler at the lower part of the village can teach you some tricks.
My man just said, ooh, it's probably fake, unless maybe it isn't. But it's definitely not of this world. And also, you should go fucking learn to use some real shit. Spoiler warning, he will reforge the Moonblade, which you might think, oh, Moonblade, it's just a fancy name. This shit is literally forged out of not star metal, but a bit of the moon that fell to Earth.
Amazing.
And we're gonna go in, like, we're gonna go somewhere to get some more. Lirb has already played this bit. She knows all about it. But, like, as weird as it sounds, a lot of these quests are about to interconnect in a huge way. Because we've been given a few broad directions. We haven't been given an explicit job in the mines yet. But there's people saying, hey, go get me some shit. Go get some clothes. I'll give no spoilers. I've already played through the village bit, as you know. But yeah, I'd say for this stream, we consider like the town is fair game. And then stuff outside the town, we'll let Unfurl offer to help.
Can I help you somehow?
You need to find those clothes first.
So he's not going to give us that quest until we go get some drip. You're also like, oh, you can trip over yourself, but like the ripping of the gown puts it pretty high up. Ooh. So it's the lower portion of town. No, he does say he says his house is like across the street. But what he actually means is down the street, down a winding passage of down winding stairs that look out over the rest of the village, and then up in here in this little like under passage.
Hey, they repaired the bridge.
So interestingly enough, so like, we saw that shit burning, like falling apart, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's fully boarded and unburned, but twisted in a way we can't walk across it, contorted the same way it was when we fell off of it. Which raises lots of questions about, well, yeah, what the fuck happened there? And I'm gonna say that that's a fall through on the art direction. I'm gonna pick up some bread. We out here swiping bread because again we can't lose reputation here. And the villagers don't really care, but in Venice we need to like I think is it shift? Yeah, we gotta interesting. I think it's a weapon out to sneak. Venice will have to be creeping around. And you can do crime. You can be a crime Scarlet. Lurb just said well, all caps. Lurb hit me with it. There's a character later who is all, you don't know how to kill. And I was thinking, yeah, so like, amazing. Yeah, because very shortly after you step out of town for the first time, you get the events which occur. There's a lock chest here. I wonder if we'll figure out ways to do that. Oh, when she searches a bookshelf, what she does, she picks up one book, she puts it down, and then the entire bookshelf becomes like just trashed and strewn around, and then you get a journal entry out of it. We've now learned about beasts, and we can learn about the cave beasts that charge at you. Yeah.
Oh wow, the whole fucking thing is a mess now. What? Oh, she's so messy.
Who? Oh, yeah, I know. Like, this was a perfectly put together fucking bookcase when Scarlet came through. It is an 09 game. This came out in the PlayStation 3. Does this look like a PlayStation 3 game to you, my audience? I assumed it was, like, just kind of in there after Monkey Island. You know? No, this game is like... This game is like Fable and Gothic made a baby, while Monkey Island watched through the window making lewd comments.
I don't know what that means.
But you do know how to make lewd comments, and you do love to watch.
Ooh. Why, yes I do.
Fable, yes. Yeah, it looks like he's got this Fable vibe. Oh god, yeah, hold on. I have this stuck in my screen. I had this before. I haven't had this glitch at all before, but I'm having it now. I wonder if there's something about the way I have it set up to stream that's making this happen. I mean, it ain't bad for the $2 to $3 that the game was on sale for when I obtained it. I'll say that much. I got to reload to fix this, like, location name shit. Won't let me open the journal. If I talk to someone...
and all.
Yeah, in terms of the design philosophy of the game, yeah.
Take care.
Where is this wind?
It's a tavern.
Thank you.
Alright, so we're gonna load our game in the hopes that we dismiss this annoyance. We're not going to. I don't know. This is a brand new glitch that has just started happening. We're gonna quit game. Some animals immune to certain attacks. You might need to learn special skills to overcome them. ... It's you're seeing like the map loading 13%. And other stuff just stuck on the screen. You got stuck on the screen after the intro cinematic when I first zoomed in on Scarlet in the Village too. And I had to restart the game for it to not happen. Now I think it's crashing while I try to quit to the main menu.
Alright, fucking P.
It's funny. I think it's got to be related to the fact that I'm like streaming, right? Because I didn't have these problems the entire time that I did the first go through. What kind of glitches have you run into, Laird? And what is your overall impression of Mateo? My impression is that he's like, other than the thing he says about his daughter that we're about to hear, a delightfully like skeevy kinda like recurring NPC who's gonna be kind of like a bit of a memey guy.
Bit of a memey guy.
Bit of a memester, if you know what I mean.
Funny joke.
Whoa, it cuts into an NPC zoomed in and then hangs. But you can still access the main menu. Oh god, so you're stuck with the camera. They went pretty ham on some of the directing in this game in terms of how they orient the camera. I am a camera. Yeah, see, it's just like the bridge remains contorted but undestroyed. I don't know if that was just simpler for them to make because it's a single 3D object in that state.
Presumably.
Venetica is panting.
Well, I mean, presumably they just didn't want to do extra work, and changing the graphics of the bridge to reflect that they had been burned would be extra work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how big the team was. I think they were a smaller German team that made this game.
It's also possible that they just forgot or did that scene last after designing the map.
Yeah, because we don't know what order the assets were made in, and often, I don't know if it happened here, but pre-baked cinematics can sometimes be done by other studios. I suspect that it wasn't the case here because they really get into their fucking like camera angles, like the little zoom out we had when we woke up in the house. They're like all over this game. It was like in-engine rendering. So I'm gonna come down here. We're gonna talk to my man Mateo.
Hey, how can I help you?
Hey, how can I help you? Show him the unfitting
I found
clothes.
those clothes you mentioned.
My. I guess my girl put on some weight lately. Let me see what I can do.
Who thought this was
my
good?
apprentice didn't live to see a skilled armorer turning his smithy into an alteration shop.
He really just like when I read that I was like, what the fuck? Also, this is what he has turned a dress
Don't say
into.
anything. It was the best actually. This doesn't look too bad. Fits you like a gauntlet. You know, back in the old days, I used to do this stuff with
he is a smith,
rather than just tailoring fancy dresses.
Yeah, you point that out.
Find some armor that doesn't fit you, just bring it to me. I would be glad to put my old skills to the test for you. So, good luck. But
find something that doesn't fit,
maybe
bring it to me. I'll make it into a
I need some new pliers. Ever since that assassin broke mine
the first piece of leather armor you can get out of this town and around the corner, he makes it like out front. It's kind of like
I don't suppose
like presentable, right? But like, it's got a huge V dive on uncentered, but on your spine, but on your back, like as if though it were like some sort of really fancy, sexy dress. But it's not. It's leather armor that just has an incredibly easy peel off in the back because nobody would ever want to defend their spine. Yeah, the whole armor refitting system is a weird way of doing it. I can almost see some of their logic. They wanted to ground you in the world. They wanted to bring you back to Mateo. It's kind of like when D&D players are like, oh, well, how does your party deal with always turning carts into catapults? And you're like, I've never seen anyone do that in my D&D game, but I imagine if we did, it would just be a one-time meme. Like, oh, well, my whole table's meta revolves around the table catapults due to our particular reading of the rules or our DM felt about it, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's one of those situations where the designers sit down and they decide what they're going to focus on. And, yeah, I think... And they've got Venetica... They've got Scarlet. I keep saying your name's Venetica. Scarlet. On the start screen, in whatever the latest armor is in the save, looking at very intently, they have her prominently on all of the stuff. I think they decided, like, okay, we have a fixed female protagonist, right? We're gonna
sexualize her.
We're gonna make her hot, and we're gonna give her outfits, and it's gonna be have an aspect of Barbie dress up. Now, spoiler warning: I love Barbie dress up, so right up my alley. But it does raise questions of, like, would they have ever done this if the character was, yeah, the next set of armor that you get off of the head assassin guy. It's it just raises the question: would because like sometimes the armor does need to be tailored to you. Like, you know, you can't wear someone significantly larger or smaller than use plate armor. But like, I don't think with a fixed male protagonist they would have bothered with this shit.
No, they definitely wouldn't have.
I think that they're kind of overstating the degree to which Scarlet can't just wear somebody else's leather armor of roughly same torso size. And I think it kind of... I don't mean to, like, play Psychology 2000 here, but I do think that it is something that will run through. Honestly, in Fable 3, I ran around in a courtier dress and a rifle. To be fair, though, that was kind of like the Fable drip. Accept the task.
Of course. Leave it to me.
But yeah,
Scarlet!
like...
Scarlet!
Reminder...
Thank heavens I found you. It's terrible.
Yeah, here's generic old man villager.
Calm down. What happened?
It's your half-brother, Leon. When those people attacked, he chased after them.
He left towards Ivy Creek, but he never came back.
Something terrible must have happened. You have to find him.
Yeah. No, you played Patago. You could play Patago with everyone. The Fable games, they had a lot going on in their interaction system. Interesting. But yeah, no. So he's like, hey, go get my daughter's dress. I've got some ideas for the clothing I could make into to put on you. And this is what he came up with.
Amazing.
My man went in there with a dress and made pants. That's a commitment. Also, I gotta say, I love like the sandal straps. Like,
yeah,
she's got the sandal wrap. And also, they have. She gets chewed out. Oh, you're gonna trip. You're gonna trip. You can't go out with a dress. You're gonna trip. But wait a minute. Let me put little heels on your sandals.
Oh my god, wait, does she have fucking
heels on her sandals? They were like,
oh my god, she does.
They got that like 1 inch or ½ inch pump.
Amazing.
No,
amazing.
like, listen, Scarlet got the drip. I'm not hating. I'm not hating. I just think in the broader context of the narrative of the game, it implies a few things. One, women and men have like different significantly different like setups, and you're going to need to go get some armor, right? I haven't encountered any like in-game people being like, "Oh, you're a woman, therefore you're weak," but I'm gonna go ahead and guess somebody throws that shit out there at some point in this game. I think there was a certain point of like literature and games in like the 90s, 2000s where like that was considered like forward-facing because like the moral is supposed to be, no, I'm not. When Scarlet just absolutely, like, wipes the floor with their bodies, right? Because, you know, she's literally the daughter of death, and as the protagonist, is going to beat their asses. It's kind of implied in some spots. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I got the feeling it was going in that direction. But in a way where the authors felt like, we're going to introduce this as a negative character trait of the NPCs and have Scarlet, like, face it or overcome it. We're about to have a great example of something that also made me question, should we do this game for GameClub? And I decided yes, because I want to talk about it. Because I have many... I'm trying to get inside the brains of the writers, because we're about to get a choice little duet here. Wait, hold on. They're not gonna...
Out for a bit of hunting? Might be a bit dangerous today, and the mountain pass is blocked anyway.
Okay, I think it comes up at some point talking to them.
What are you doing here?
We're the new militia. We're here to protect the village from any further raids. Those assassins are still about, you know. I hear they're members of an ancient
order from the Grim East.
Oi!
My father's from the Grim East, you know?
Yeah, but he's not one of those killing
goes,
goes, is he?
No.
At least
he never mentioned such a thing.
At their master's command, they throw themselves down mountains just
Now,
to prove their loyalty.
Important note here.
I know the old stories. And now they're here to fulfill a mission.
Dervishes and whirling. This references Sufi Islam and meditative traditions. There is no, for some reason, like there's like a class in a video game as well, like whirling dervishes, and you spun around. No, they absolutely not at all involved with the Shashin, who some Frenchman wrote a really wrong book about that also totally misunderstood. This guy is kind of implied to be a dipshit, though, and he gets immediately called out in the next dialogue by, hey, my dad's from the Grim East. So, like...
Also, isn't that other guy's name, like, Hakim or something? Like,
I think this guy is... Actually, yeah, I think that this guy... I don't know if this guy or the other guy is Hakim, but yeah, I think the other guy is Hakim. Names are all over the place, but at least he has an explanation of his dad is from somewhere to the east of here.
Presumably, you know, the Islam country.
Yeah, and we haven't really gotten into religion here, but it definitely looked like a fucking church that got its bell blown out. Its bellusi, if you will, blown out.
I mean, so is this is not like a fantasy world, right? Like this is literally...
It's described as a mythic or fantasy Venice.
No?
Spoiler warning, it is co-extant with a nation referred to as Persia.
Very interesting. Okay.
But the time period is... It's a weird fantasy Republic of Venice. Okay, so... How do they learn some prisoners? All great questions, Q Prime. I think they just saw assassins who had blades they didn't recognize and drew assumptions or something. But also, the old lady seemed to know a bit more about dark forces pursuing us and basically just decided, like, no, shut up, get out of here. She doesn't want to tell us who our parents are. She doesn't want to tell us anything about who's chasing us. Just tells us we gotta go. We're gonna ask why the path is blocked.
We don't know why the road to Venice is blocked. Someone
or something
is stuck in the gorge, and no one who's seen it has lived to tell the tale.
Of course, you're free to go and see for yourself.
Seems like you could fucking die if you want.
What advice can you give me?
Well, you should look for a proper weapon before you try anything stupid.
And go get some combat training from Brawler before you go out there.
Please, I need to get out of here now.
Fine, but don't blame us when you come back without your head.
How could she come back without...
Oh, shut up, man.
They also kind of play Hakim off as, like, these are, like, two, like, idiot jokesters in a very, like, UK humor of the 2000s style, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, here's the thing. The guy who said Grim East, unironically, is the guy named Kazim. This guy is named Tinker.
Fascinating choice. Fascinating.
Maybe Kazim is from the bright south. I don't know. Yeah, so, like, in an attempt to engage in, you know, a fantasy world, which is diverse. Because, again, we saw a very diverse group of villains. Yet, very clunky in parts. I mean, even the voice direction in the intro, like, when he goes to cut off the woman with the,
Silence.
Yeah, when he silences her, like, the audio and video cuts don't seem to be cutting properly. She's got like golden neck rings that I associate with certain African cultures, but I don't know that that's like the only place that she could be from. But basically, we have a very diverse group of villains, which now comes the question: okay, that's cool. Are we gonna have a diverse group of good guys? And I'm hoping the answer is yes. But yeah, Gate Guard Kazim doing some casual Orientalism there was one of those moments where I was like, is the game going to be like this? But the fact that he was immediately contradicted by Tinker made me think, like, there's something going on here in the internal voice of this game, in the text, that's causing me to give it a bit more benefit of the doubt. That even if it is going to be a flawed attempt, it is going to try and, like, I don't know, like...
combat some of the...
Yeah, and not even combat, so much like, at least acknowledge it.
Yeah, address.
And that's interesting, because I feel like a lot of it... Ooh, I found an Imperial coin after smashing this pot. I feel like I'm fucking Link. Alright, let's check out the old... Smash those pots. Fun fact, so, like, a lady in town sells you a Gladius, and, like, straight up, that shit is, that shit is... Sorry, getting distracted by all the pages I've flipping through. My skill points it because I don't know what the fuck up.
Do be a fit. Do be a fit, though.
Indeed. So here's old man. I think it's the old man's house that we came into to the fight. Yeah, because, like, my man Benedict died, like, right here, I think. Yeah, after jumping off that roof in a really sick cutscene. By the way, what room of the house is this? Like, I love the cobbled vibe of, like, Italian cliffside villa, like Riviera Town, right? Oh, really important note, Lurb. Spears are the only thing that let you have a shield, and by Chapter 4, we must have at least one rank in the spear skill to wield them. Otherwise, the game is soft-locked. I'm going to put a warning for that around that week in GameClub so everyone knows. But yeah, and fun fact, swords and the Moonblade are not considered the same weapon. So if you've learned how to block with a sword, you don't know how to block with the Moonblade. Even though, spoiler warning, it's going to look a lot like a sword and uses basically the same 3D model as the Assassin's weapons. And I'm pretty sure it uses sword skill, but he was brawling.
Hey, Scarlet, come over here.
So yeah, my friend Mateo sent me past my pal Lilia through Kazim and Tinker to meet a man literally just named Brawler. Sword, Moonblade, hammers, and spears. They went with hammers rather than like axes or a bow. Q Prime, you're put into an arena and given a spear as your only weapon, but you can't actually equip the weapon, and there's no unarmed attacks in this game if you don't have the skill.
Hey, Scarlet, you survived the attack.
He's very surprised you survived the
Why
attack.
do you sound so surprised?
I saw your fighting style last night. Luck must have been on your side. In all seriousness, though, there are some things that you have to remember. When you go head-to-head with your enemy, every last one of them has a weak spot. And there are no exceptions. Everyone. Except you, of course. You've got more weak spots than a 4-year-old pumpkin. But last night, I found those bastards' weak spot. And I can show you how to fight them. If you want. Also, if you're experienced enough, I can teach you some new combat skills.
So this game is a skill trainer system. It's actually got some pretty extensive skills. They weigh the cost-benefit analysis and some of the guys are getting some of the mental skills, which are pretty interesting. Right now, we don't know that we have magic, basically, but we do have an ability that lets us send to our active quest like a raven that flies overhead and leads us in the direction of the quest. Physical skills, you need trainers, and we will also just teach you to fight good.
Show me how to fight these assassins.
So we're going to take out our poker.
Now, I'm going to come at you like an enemy would and perform a standard attack. Only difference is I'm a little more heavy-footed and more handsome. Unfortunately for them, their normal attack is also their weakness. Once they commit to the attack,
All you have to do is dodge out the way. They're not very fast when they strike, so it shouldn't be a problem for you. And you'll be in a perfect position to counterattack. Now, let's put it into practice. Try to hit me 5 times with a counterattack. But if I hit you twice, you lose. Are you ready?
So whip out our weapons, space bar. Kind of naturally strafe around the engaged foe. So he goes for the hit. I hit him, that's the counterattack. He goes for the wind-up, dodge, counterattack. He totally thought about a lot of things because they contextualized why he was going to attack you exactly the way that like they attacked you and with the same weapon.
Congratulations!
He's teaching you their
did
weak
well.
spot.
Now that you've learned the basics of combat, you should take this sword with you.
Oh yeah,
it was
he also
left
literally
behind
gives
in
you
the
one of
attack.
their
I'm sure
swords.
you'll know how to put it to
I didn't
good
talk to him
use.
at first and thought
now
that I
you
had to
should
put
try
all
to
my
find
money
a
into
trainer
buying
who
the
can
fucking
show you how
gladius.
to roll and strike. And if you're experienced enough, then come back and I can teach you some new combat skills.
So, we got a dervish sword. They do call them dervishes. It's quite disappointing. So, thus far, this game, made in Germany, localized for English, set in fantasy Italy, getting a low grade on the Orientalism meter. But I do think there's some value. I do think they could have depth in some of the characters here. So we're gonna come out and Lilia, I'm gonna sell you some fucking copper ore.
Hello. I would like to trade.
The stab. Get 28. Old coins can be exchanged to traders. Sell that shit. This dude said to hang on to or sell the old necklace, a family heirloom, so out of paranoia, I'm holding it just in case there's some special interaction if you keep it. But yeah, so we're like, oh, okay. I've got my sword. I've learned the basics of fighting. Oh, it is about to set. Sun's about to set though. Per the earlier warning from our adoptive mother, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take a nap. Well, and I'm gonna take the nap. Q Prime is downloading. Well, play along with us in GameClub, Q Prime, and share your experiences. We're gonna take a nap, and I am going to hit the little Leland's room. Also, Venetica, absolute icon, manages to sleep exactly on the fucking edge of the bed. I get why, like, it's easier to animate that than it would be her properly getting to the middle of the bed and deploy it across a variety of 3D objects. So I'm really not ragging them that hard.
Amazing.
And, yeah. I'm gonna be right back. We're gonna continue our deep fucking dive on Venetica. Here is our inaugural Game Club get-together. Whoop. Alright, going back. So, we're knowing that we're gonna go sleep a day after being warned about our adoptive brother Leon getting jumped. And yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Sleep until morning. Energy fully recovered. And we're gonna run down. Start map. And you might notice they funnel you to a very particular intersection to be able to leave town. I'm sure nothing will go down there. But casual reminder, this man waved us over and was like, "Yo, the Paola brothers, who the fuck, have sworn vengeance upon you and blame you for the death of their loved ones in this attack." Ah, there's a dude out on the street. I'm sure nothing's gonna go down here. I wonder if you actually go up there and fight the assassins right now, but it's, you know, it's a casual walk out of town. Bear in mind, you can walk out here with just the clothing and a fire poker if you haven't bothered to buy the sword or do the training with the guy. You walk up on this man's, right? And you're like, oh, it's an NPC with
There she is! That's the girl who destroyed our village.
What?
You heard me. You are responsible for all that happened. They were here for you, and now you will have to pay for it.
Heard some footsteps, but that was such a teleports behind you. Oh yeah, so we're shanked. We're fucking dead. Heartbeat. We hear more of that swelling, weird audio distortion we've heard. She's up and she's like, oh. Huh?
What are you? A demon? Please. Please forgive us. We had no idea.
We had no idea that you would get back up after we murdered you. Yeah, so, indeed, this is such an interesting first moral dilemma, isn't it, Laird? These men were willing to... The guy in purple needs to get deaded. Yeah, these guys were completely willing to murder you dead as part of a victim-blaming act out of remorse kind of situation. These guys are dickbags. Like, why should we let them live? The game kind of, like, the game says show mercy and let them live or make them pay for their treason. In my reading of the text, right, I think they create a possibility space for, like, where Venetica could go, like, is she driven by revenge? Is she driven by trying to get to Benedict? But I don't see how either of those would result in her deciding to let them walk away. There's no consequences or other choice. I see why you have an issue with that. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. This isn't necessarily what I believe, but here is a suggestion that... Remember when we talked to Death, and Death's like, oh, it doesn't really matter either way. Yet all paths will lead to the Moonblade. I think that's alright. I think a video game can give you the illusion of choice and let you have your own feeling about whether or not you did a good or bad thing as an exercise in role play. Like if talking to that guy who offers you money didn't give you XP when you turned down the money, that would also be fine. When you give money to a beggar in a video game and there's no karma reward or there's no other hidden reason to do so, that's fine. It is a roleplay question of whether or not you think the character would. And there is to ask a question of, hey, you think these guys are going to die? I think it would have been better if, in this very intricate area, with a small, intimate village where everyone knows each other, there were consequences for minting these guys into fresh fucking corpses. I think that would be pretty important. I don't think they do, but, you know. I think that the game turns on the reputation system and gets more serious towards Venice. I haven't been there yet. But I think that this might just be an opening, hey, you just walked out of town, going on an adventure, they fucking shank you. What are you going to do? And I think it's a push. Because thus far, all we have is a generic fantasy setup. Like, yeah, they did fuck up our village, but we didn't have any gameplay where we got to know the village. It wasn't like Fable 1, where they let you, like, go, like, work for presents for your sister, right? To pay for a present for your sister and then have the attack happen. You have no idea what this town was like before. Everything you learn about the fact that you have an adopted brother by the name of Leon, when some random person runs up and tells you he's under attack. Like, there's not really the point I'm trying to make is... I don't know what the point I'm trying to make is, but my observation here more or less begins and ends with, it's alright that they kind of give us, like, a bit of a nonsensical start where we do some stuff that doesn't hit, but if later into the game I'm making decisions to, like, spare someone's life who seems important, and they never come back up again, then, yeah, it'll be dumb. One thing I remember from when I saw the guys in the Guildhall Palace being like, I want a beer. Give me a beer, yeah. Show mercy on them. So, I haven't seen what it's like if you show mercy and let them live. Have you ever done that, Lurb? Do they run back to town? Can you talk to them? You did show mercy. You didn't see them in town. Only thing is, maybe you could see them later in Venice as a callback to give a delayed reaction, in part because a delayed reaction to video game makes a lot of sense because unlike a tabletop role-playing game, you can hit save and you can hit load, right? But if it's like, oh, I killed these guys an hour ago and now someone's coming for revenge an hour later, you're not going to reload and lose all your other progress you made over that. So, I think that there can be a delayed gratification. Maybe they don't. I doubt they pay off this particular plot, but I've already done make them pay for their treason. The only thing that happened, in my experience going through Chapter 1, is they were dead. I'm going to see what happens if I show mercy. We'll see if there is a payoff. Yeah, you get quests to benefit the village. There's things you can do where it's like, yeah, this is going to be better for the village if this happens. And the quests interconnect. Multiple quests lead you to the mines. Multiple quests lead you to the ranger's house where we're going to meet Dawn and the other son who are outside having the little will dispute. I'm going to show mercy.
Let this be a warning. Now get out of my sight.
Let this be a warning. Her warning being, bitch, I lived. I like how they like, so calmly shuffle in a straight line and then, you know, teleport away. Because they're implied to be walking towards San Pasquale, but they just instant transmission.
It's very dangerous out there. If you want an explanation, you better talk to...
Yeah, we are like over a third of the way. Always try to play the good original route. This place is fucked up with assassins. I'm not going to go there just yet. But you do overhear some dialogue that explains why, by the way, I know she spelled Dishonored the British English way on account of, I don't know, maybe being from a certain island Lurb. I do too. And it means that I have folders, both called Dishonored without the U, as the game franchise is known, and with the U, because that's just how I think to spell the word Dishonored on my computer. The low chaos, non-lethal. Yeah, I prefer those builds as well. Sometimes with games like Hitman or Splinter Cell, I'll get into a groove where I will do like whole killings. No, I mean I do the same. When I talk about the game Dishonored, I threw the U.
See, I'm pretty sure I do that for one reason and one reason only. I read the British version of Harry Potter when I was growing up.
Is there an Americanized version?
Yeah, they have an American translation, actually.
An American English. That's so funny to me. When they give you the option of like American English, Witcher 3. Yeah, they do give you some good bad choices. So there's two main paths down. One where you'll find a block. The other's down into this copper mines are nearby. There's an upper copper mines area. You get like you can't progress in because of the door locked.
That's a cute cabin.
We're being deafened by the fucking crush of one waterfall. One thing you're gonna learn: we've seen assassin down there. These woods get immediately fucked up, full of assassins. I took a rest after having the fight with the dudes. Came back out. You gotta jump. Here's Leon.
Now you'll pay for what you've done to our village.
Oh no, fearless fighter!
Getting bad echo
Let
here.
us live!
Don't mock me, scum.
As you like.
Do you note the mushrooms?
Then we'll rip you to shreds right away. Won't be too difficult.
Come on, you coward!
Save the mushrooms. Okay, good, because I definitely liquidated them on my first playthrough.
Scarlet! Why did you have to go and spoil things? I had everything under control.
Why did you have to go and spoil things by saving me from getting double teamed by assassins? So we could say, I just saved his life. They would have killed him, or mock Leon and his rusty sword. I mean, I don't really know what kind of sibling relationship Scarlet and Leon have, but it would be kind of interesting if she, a like wilting violet white gown. Oh, I don't want to leave and go on adventures ever. I want to stay home. Kind of character, as she's been coded in the introduction at least, although I think that they abandoned that quickly and let you carve your own path to an extent and leave her kind of like the semi-neutral, semi-sarcastic, intrigued adventure game character. Immediately be like, hey, I saved your life. Also, you're shit and you have a rusty sword. So we can be like, they were going to kill you, oh, you fuck you, or hey, I saved your life. I'm going to say you would kill you.
Under control my foot? They would have killed you on the spot.
I don't need you to save my life. I'm a grown-up now. You never let me have any fun.
You never let me have any fun.
This discussion is over, young man. Go home now.
I hate you!
And I just don't want to lose you too.
Oh, and I just don't want to lose you too. Very sad line there. I mean, honestly, like, Scarlet's voice actress, moving some weight. Moving some weight. She's got some range. She's doing a good job. It implies a pretty deep relationship, but also like a kind of like... She's calling him young man. That's not really a sibling-to-sibling line, even between siblings of varied age. That's like something you say to your kid. And like the woman who's like been raising her is like grandma age, so like is that her role in Leon's life? Is she the mom friend but the mom sibling? Your childhood was interesting, but not that. Yeah. Now, I actually have stat points I could spend, and I could go back to saying, but we're going to clear these guys out. We're not going to go into the mine for a simple reason. We don't have the skill that lets us, like, skin animals yet, and skinning animals is how you loot them. So we won't have their hides sell if I don't have the skill and kill them. So yeah, they got some ducats. They got moonblades. This guy had a healing salve. We're not going in the mine just yet. But remember, the quest that we got from our main man, Mateo, is he wants us to get an extra pair of pliers from over the ranger's mantle place, because he remembered seeing it, and he won't be needing it anymore. So Mateo doesn't just extend this mindset to his nebulous fated daughter, go get her clothes so I can make you a crop top and, you know, pirate pants with them right quick. It also extends to, my neighbor's dead now. Go replace my tools with some I saw in his house. Put the salve on the hot bar, yeah.
Yeah,
and
he's such a fucking weirdo.
This is a man who you're getting pretty deeply in bed with, because I don't know if you meet another Smith in this game. I think he might be the person who does this. Do mushroom consumable item, salve consumable item, regular consumable item. Yeah, because like you gotta be able to heal. I don't know if there is an auto heal. In fact, we open up. I don't know, not Jay's journal, but so you have a mental skill. We have the Path of the Raven. I'll pull that out. and we'll even show it off. Got some quests, the Undead Archon. Here's one of my favorite things about this game, right? The Undead Archon. Find the Moonblade and defeat the Undead Archon. Death told me to find a weapon called Moonblade, which he hid from me, and go to Venice, where I need to destroy the so-called Undead. I don't think he said that he hid it for us. And you might notice that it refers to capital D Death as the person that we talked to. There's nothing in the text of the game outside this journal that confirms that he is Death. Or even states it. There's just one offhand line where she says, I feel like that might have been Death. It feels like it could have been Death himself. But I thought she was being figurative. Not literal until I read this journal entry. So there was some lack of cohesion in the writing department on that one. But of course, one person could have been writing like brief journal descriptions. The other person handling this thing. And then when you rush to get a product together, things happen. So I'm understanding, right? I think this was a smaller, maybe independent studio. And it's ambitious and they get a lot in. So, I'm going to call them on the shit, but technically wise, I'm going to be forgiving. And I have a lot of forgiveness for jank old games, too. So I'm going to use the Raven ability. Path of the Raven, we cast it, and that Raven just flies up the stairs. So we're going to follow it. And it literally just, like, flies through the world. And it's like we Kamehameha tossed out a Raven. I thought one was going to, like, fly in from above for some reason. But yeah, if we look at the journal, the Undead Archon saying go up here. I'm assuming that's like towards the Moonblade or some shit. Blacksmith. I actually want to do House in Ivy Creek. It's fun. It's so fun we'll do it again. Trick's so nice we'll try it twice. And as you can tell, like the Raven has the same pathing rules as we do because it flies down over the steps. It basically just has an invisible collision capsule, right? It doesn't go as the Raven flies, which is more useful for this, right? Than if they'd made it just go in a straight line, because it'll show you, oh, here's how you have to walk. Here's a skeleton, which, you know, the raid was last night, so this fool just died here, you know, within sight of the village, and skelefied with nobody coming over, you know, due to the stench? Or the insects? Actually, not quite side of the village. I'll say that. A nice, like, megalithic structure, perhaps? Like a deliberate Stonehenge. And then we got the ranger's hut down here. We don't know what a ranger is, other than whatever presumptions we bring here. I assume it's not the D&D class. I assumed it should be a woodsy shack, but it winds up being like a nice house with a puzzle in it. And some sons come to collect inheritance. But yeah, before we go in here, we're going to apply our stat points. There are 4 stats in this video game, and they are, interestingly enough, Constitution, Wisdom, Strength, and Mental Power. So, I don't think that this actually tells you what it does. I think that this was, in 2009, we were still within the twilight of the manual, and people were expected to read manuals. I know that Constitution gives you more hit points, no Strength makes you hit harder. I want to hit like a bullet, so we're gonna take the +3 there. We're gonna get +3 points a level, 20 skill points a level. We'll run back up to our main man Brawler and skill up after we've been down here for a bit. We're around looking for mushrooms. It's regular video game stuff. Signpost. We can also creep up here, right? And,
I'll just go in there and search for the glib.
You will go nowhere.
Oh, come on. What would you do with it anyway? You probably can't even read.
What? I had the same education as you. Just because I spent my money on things other than women and wine, you think I can't read a silly letter. There's only one person who should go in there, and that's me.
Fine. Go on then. I trust you.
You do? Well,
If you leave your weapon at the doorstep.
I can do that.
And your muddy clothes, too.
My clothes? What good would that do?
Then you can't leave the house with pockets packed with my possessions.
You're sick. You know that. I'm not moving an inch.
You can go check the house of our dead father if you strip first.
I can tell you what it is
Oh
without
my
looking.
God.
That's the oldest trick in the world, and I'm not going to fall for it.
Sometimes your sharpness surprises me.
I suggest you just leave and let me handle this.
I have an even better suggestion. I'll just go in there and search for the will.
You will go nowhere.
Oh, come on. What would you do with it anyway? Probably can't even read.
What? I had the same education as you. Just because I spent my money on things other than women and wine, you think I can't read a silly letter. There's only one person who should go in there, and that's me.
Fine. Go on then. I trust you.
Ambient dialogue in the world loops. It's an interesting decision. I think it's to let you know, but also in case you were running by and triggered the audio, you don't have to worry that you're never going to hear it. Like if somebody came nearby and then backed off.
You're sick. You know that.
So we're just going to
I'm
saunter
not
in
moving
here.
an inch. Stay away. This is family business.
Yes, and the controversy will be solved pretty soon. With this blade.
Wait, what's going on here?
Sometimes there are things in life that can only be solved by a good old-fashioned duel.
I'd stay out of this.
Well, I could use some help.
No, help me!
Stay out of it. No, help me. So I think, Lurb, I thought that some things cost more skill points, or like 15 or 20 or something. So maybe that's the point. But yeah, why not make it a smaller denomination if you could? Video games are often egregious agents of that. What's the problem? Help both of them, leave without helping. I don't think they'll kill each other in a duel, because that would require a lot of reactivity on the part of the game, because you're gonna have to road trip with these boys. I actually don't know how far. I left off just before I went into the pass with the Moonblade. So that's when we'll get the fresh run, the blind run. I actually don't think it's called blind run anymore. Maybe there's another term. A sight unseen run.
What exactly is going on here?
It's plain and simple, really. Our uncle died, and we both came here to claim the inheritance. One of us needs to go inside and look for his will, but this guy here is not to be trusted.
Oh, yes, I am. You were always the villain in our family.
The problem is, the will be hidden.
You were
There'll
always the villain
probably
in our
be some
family.
sort of puzzle.
Probably
Our
some sort of
uncle was very
puzzle.
fond of
Uncle was very fond of
Even a bit
puzzles.
paranoid, you
Even
might
a bit
say.
paranoid, you might say.
I'll find the will. Then maybe you two can stop bickering.
If you need any help, just give me a shout.
Yeah, maybe we can help you somehow.
So Mateo gives you a quest to go get some pliers from a shack. And you're like, that's going to be simple. You walk out to and find these outside and find these two doofuses, Dawn and Nesto, arguing over a will inside. And if we look around the environment, right? First of all, pot.
Nice.
Broke that shit. Hey, sorry, one of you opened an air at that? I was looking for loot. Can we pick these? No. Interesting house. Pretty nice house for a ranger. When they said, when they were referring to Ivy Creek the way they were, I thought Ivy Creek was like another town or like an offshoot of the community, but I think Ivy Creek is literally just this area down here. And the one person who lives here is the ranger, who is now dead. Notice anything in the environment, friends? Anything about the way things are arranged? Yeah. Well, let's go inside and check out the puzzle.
It's a puzzle.
Yeah, you might notice some intriguing elements. Now, if you did what I did and look at this from this side, you'll get the wrong answer. But there's a nice little cutscene that I think is meant to prod you. But yeah, so this game, and this is going to be the house where we're going to get the Moonblade, because Spoiler warning, those guys know how to pick locks and they know how to get through this locked door in their dad's house they don't have a key for, but legally own. Here's the house. As you can see, the books have already been tossed. There are the pliers, right? This is what the quest is for that originally brings us here, but to get in the door, we basically have to accept this other quest. You can come upstairs, and if you're just looking for loot, you can, check this chest. You can get some gold and copper ore, because, hey, they're not going to miss it. You can fuck up their inheritance and steal some ducats. And something interesting happens when you step out onto this... I should save the game. This is a matter of course. Step out on this balcony. Ooh, we have 5 for the quick save. It gives us a nice pan down. Have you found anything yet?
Keep your eyes open. The old man was very fond of puzzles.
It reminds us of puzzles, and it centers the camera not on them, but on those distinctive paver stones. Which was what clued me off. I literally missed them coming in. But that cutscene, like, showed it to me. So that's actually a pretty nice, tight bit of design and guessing that you're going to need to prod along your players. I give it to him. This house, this house is not a lived-in space. Look at this shit. Like, first of all,
Puzzle Palace.
This guy was supposed to have died yesterday. This is what one of his. This is what his upstairs looks like. This is that's a loft, right? But again, damn bitch, you live like this. Yeah, it's paranoid puzzle palace. You mentioned he's paranoid and fond of puzzles. So like, here. Oh, here's my foyer. You can put your shoes here. I've got a coat rack. Okay, I follow you. Here's my dead indoor tree. Well, that's unfortunate, but I can see why you might be into horticulture as a ranger. Here's my hand cart. Okay, useful. I understand why you'd want near the door. Not sure why you'd want near your nice Venetian rug and tile floor, but whatever. Here's my locked iron grate. Do which my, I don't know, there's pots and pans. Is that the kitchen? Yeah, kitchen right in through the front door. Come upstairs. Here's my barrel ledge. Here's my fireplace. To be fair, sitting chair, paranoid, paranormal investigator, stack of books and tomes. Which, as the owner of the Mood Blade and a paranoid individual, I can see why you would be, and I can also see why the assassins would take you out.
Amazing.
I'm pretty sure I sent you the number sequence out of nowhere and was just like, hey, this is for that thing or something. And you're like, okay.
You probably did.
But, yeah. How does he get the car out of the door? That's a good question. Yeah, the car doesn't look like it would fit out the door. And it wouldn't fit out this door. Maybe the cart is exclusively for carting books from his book pile up and down. And bringing down barrels to cook with. But you'd have to leave them at the door. Yeah, very nice mix of spooky and nice here. That it very much grated me that this was like such a non-lived-in area, when they did a pretty good job with the destroyed village feeling like a real place, in my opinion. This same question comes up again with a boat a bit later.
You didn't find the will.
The old man left a clue somewhere. Maybe inside.
Or maybe even outside the house. It could even be right where we're standing.
Don't give up. You've got to solve this puzzle
so
for us.
Arrest the camera how I was looking, and it wasn't looking at them, so that's interesting. So what we see is the first, the third, the fourth, the second. So 1, 3, 4, 2. 1, 3, 4, 2. 1, 3, 4, 2.
You'll need to keep your wits about.
Keep your eye.
1342. 1342. Keep our wits about us. Keep our eyes about us. 1342. Indeed, Q Prime. According to Lerb, 4-digit combination puzzles are all the rage in this game, which is how you know it's not just an RPG, but a hybrid RPG adventure game, because they put nonsensical puzzles in it, and they lampshade hang it, but still, like, come on. Oh, isn't it really weird that our dad was into like obtuse puzzles? Yes, it is. And maybe the game will explain a little, like he was paranoid because he knew stuff about like the death situation. As the wait a minute, 1342 was just wrong, wasn't it? 1, 3, 4. Oh my god! I just went outside and read it the wrong way. Actually, I remember reversing it from what I thought I had read, and that didn't make any sense. They went out again, looked at it, and I figured it out. Like, where the clue is not hard to find. I tried just straight reversing my wrong answer once, and it didn't work out. So, 1342. Yeah, maybe it's 2431. But I feel like a straight reversal didn't work when I got it wrong last time. Actually, I think it was wrong. I think it is. It does. It is looking in at the house. 2431. And I think I saw it from the balcony. Did it from the balcony. And then went outside, looked at it from the outside, and then was like, oh. Yeah. Interesting that we have, like, the same progression. Although you didn't see it from the balcony, right, Lerb? Or you didn't go on the balcony? Nice. A hidden will. Imagine if the fucking pliers had still been there and we activate that mechanism, it would have, like, fucking locked up. That would have been terrible. Pick up Testament.
A will. It says everything should be given to Nesto, and there is something about an unseen blade.
So, Nesto thus far has been established to like wine and women and be a bit of a dick. The other guy is mostly just doesn't like Nesto. We don't have a lot of characterization for these two other than their distaste for one another. So we're gonna step outside and we're like, oi.
You found the will? Surprise, surprise. Now, let me see what the old fogey wrote down.
Don't give it to him. He'll twist it for his own good. You'd best read it out to both of us. This place would make a great shelter for homeless children.
A great shelter for homeless children.
That was always my dream.
What? Here? In this forest? Honestly, Don, a pub with some gambling and plenty of ladies would suit this village far
Why
better.
would this make sense as a pub
I'll
with
just
gambling
tear it down
ladies?
and sell the wood. They seem to need some up here.
This is my final will. I command that all that belong to me shall be...
So, yeah, Lerb and I discussed it, and we made the same choice. I'm tempted to try a different one, but I think that if it comes up, it'll come up later. I think I'm going to go... So, like, you could either give it to Nesto, who is like, I want to make it a pub or tear it down, gambling, women, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, home for orphans or den of iniquity. And this man left the house to den of iniquity guy. So I guess I could just lie, but for a wide variety of reasons, I think that's dumb. Because here's the thing. I'm not forging the document. And neither of these men trust or like each other. So in the ensuing legal proceedings, the actual document is either going to be destroyed or lost, or hold up. So there's no reason to lie to Orphanage Guy. And Orphanage Guy doesn't even seem to want that. Orphanage Guy just seems to want to know what it says. And I could also try and broker this compromise and share between the families. But I don't see why Scarlet would do that. Like, unfortunate, but it's also unfortunate to meddle in this man's, last will and his family affairs. I'm gonna fucking say it as it's written down because I don't see why Scarlet would have developed into a character who would make any other decision here. I think she'd tell the truth.
Given to the family of Nesto.
Fate is with me once again.
Character development.
Nobody has a last name here.
Finally.
They say the family of Nesto or the family of Dawn. They're from the same family. They're males from the same family. We don't know the Ranger's name.
Nobility? It'll be gone in a week on wine and women anyway.
There's more. Except for the unseen blade. Hidden in the world of Twilight.
Hidden in the world of
It will be searched for
Twilight.
in due time, and only discovered by its heir, the one without family.
The one without family will be reunited with the past.
What is he going on about? A blade hidden in a Twilight world?
Strange. It says, the one without family. There's only one person without a family in this village. Me.
So, you think this message was intended for you?
Well, why not? She seems a little mysterious to me anyway. Well then, let me invite you all into my new mansion and see if we can make head or tail of things. Not that we'd be any good in supernatural stuff, but having been educated in precision mechanics in our youth, we could possibly help you open some locks.
Trained in precision mechanics in our youth could possibly help you open some locks. So, like, is the whole family shady? Like, yeah, see, here we have a cut to the, I'm assuming, lockpicking minigame that we haven't interacted with yet. And we have this, like, hand animation.
Picking a lock is just a matter of finding the right order. Trivial for people like us.
Oh, wait. Are locks literally 4-digit combinations?
The door is now
and you picked, and you click one of those. Oh my god. They love 4-digit combo puzzles. We'll wait for you outside. Yeah, you know there's probably bickering terribly over who owns. We'll come in here for a second, pick a lock for you, and then walk outside for you to do what you will in our father's abode. Because of a weird proviso in a letter that we have only your word to believe applies to you. The only thing in here to loot is some bread. I could sleep in this man's bed next to a skeleton. Reminder, this guy died yesterday.
Whose skeleton is that?
This guy died yet. Look at the fucking, like, shrine. This man died yesterday, people. Bitch, you live like this? With the fog machine and the cobwebs and the busted lanterns?
God,
and the dead potted plants? I mean, I can see why he's got, like, the occultist investigator notes thrown all over. Because my man was crazy as fuck. I can see he was paranoid, right? Yeah, he kept his bedroom. Great point, Lurb. Bedroom locked from the outside.
What the fuck?
The lock on this iron... I can't even see the lock, but it was on the outside, yeah. Now, part of this is just, this is an unbelievable video gaming world space, but part of it is, I do think, on a second playthrough, they wanted to make this guy seem paranoid and unhinged. And that is kind of communicated, in a way. I've been guilty of throwing things into a level that weren't really logical there. So you see there's like an open, like, sword holder where a sword could be. Oh! And now it's gone pisso mode, yellow filter. Oh, we've got a terribly unconventional. This is a sort of dumb weapon you put in a sci-fi, and like the warrior race wields, right? Like when they're trying to be, oh, the Klingon, blah blah blah. Like, because like you would notice that there's similarity in the blade, right? But I pull this out. At least I'm holding something that vaguely is like. Honestly, looks kind of like an overgrown straight razor, but it's got like a curved hilt, a curved blade, but at least it vaguely follows the same logic.
It looks like it could connect to a scythe.
It does, but here's the thing: so the moon blade's broken at the moment, right? It looks like it could be like a, and like war scythes are rotated more or less this way. Like you rotate a scythe blade 90 degrees to put it in this way. It almost feels like. If the bit connecting the hilt to the blade were a little different, it would almost be Kopesh territory.
Ooh, I love Kopeshes. They're actually really cool.
They are wonderful weapons.
I
love
mean,
a good
I don't
Kopesh.
know about the practicality of them, but they look badass.
They're good. Fun fact, they're actually a form of axe, or they're a permutation of an axe.
Look, I found it.
And there's a history of, like, axe-knife hybrids in North Africa.
Still, looks
really
pretty battered to me.
I did not know that.
Maybe you should let a smith take a look at it.
I'm one of the people out
Speaking
there
of which,
who did not.
how can you be sure you're the one the blade was intended
I
for?
found out about that stuff during Ada while I was making the real burns, but yes, some practice wouldn't hurt. I'll tell them to shut up. I will fight if I must. Not some practice wouldn't hurt. They're offering to have a bit of a twirl with us.
Actually, maybe I do need some practice.
Now that our dispute is settled, we'll be going back to Venice. And regarding these strange foreigners on the road, it would be safest if we travel together.
Regarding these strange foreigners on the road.
For once, I agree with you.
I need to get to Venice too.
Then you are most welcome to join us. We'll wait for you at the tunnel entrance, and only enter it when you're ready.
Yeah,
but
no, the site's
first,
aesthetic,
we
the
need to
Death
be
Harvester
sure
blade
you won't
does
get
make
cut
sense
into
for who she
pieces
is.
by the next rogue that comes by.
So, how about
And for
we
who's
test
giving it to
your
her.
fighting skills right here, right now? What do you say?
I literally already hit the dot. Oh, okay.
Great. Spar with me and listen to my advice.
So weird. Why does everybody in the show
Some
and
enemies
this
are
thing look
skilled
like
enough to block your blows.
fucking
In that case,
bizarro?
a direct
This is pretty good
attack
for
won't harm them.
2009.
However,
But
if you're
the
quick
answer
enough,
is,
you can attack them from
like
the
when they
side
even may show
or
any
behind.
emotion on the face, I'm
You
like,
do this by
wow.
performing a quick roll, followed by a strike. Roll to the left or the right, and then strike. Try it now. Roll and strike.
Roll and strike. Press space and a movement key to roll in that direction. If you're close to an enemy, scroll automatically focus that enemy. Press the action button to attack. So roll, strike.
I'm amazed. You're as quick as you're
you are
sharp-witted. The next thing to learn would be performing combined attacks. But for today, this should suffice. You did surprisingly well. Maybe you'll stay alive until we reach the coast.
Well, if you carry on training, you might even live to see the gates of Venice.
Yeah, it's interesting that he goes from like complimenting you and be like you're swift and quick-witted to be like kind of talking shit. But I think these dudes are just kind of really competitive and dickish. My revenge will get me much further. I could use some more protection. They'll see. I'll stay alive and do good. I mean, this feels a little like yeah, I'll show you. This feels like dark and edgy, brooding Scarlet. And this feels like asking for more items. And I like items because I'm an RPG player, but I feel like Scarlet would be like, yeah, fuck you, I can do this.
As long as there's good to be done, I'll stay alive for as long as it
As long as
takes.
there's good to be done,
Doing good
I'll
may
stay
make
alive
you
for as
feel
long as
proud,
it takes.
but it can also dramatically shorten your life expectancy.
We'll go now. Meet us in the village when you're ready to go to Venice.
You already
And
told
don't
me you were
forget
gonna...
to fix this cursed blade.
You already
Any
said that
part
you were gonna
may
meet me by the
awaken
tunnel,
from
but
it
then
will
you just said to
doubtless
meet
be
me
an
by the village.
advantage on our way. Oh, and take this. It's my travel journal. It may prove useful.
A good idea. Have mine too. But don't forget to give it back to me when you've finished reading.
Is he implying that I would steal his travel journal? I actually didn't ask for either of your travel journals. So, why are we being like hostile about that? So we have now a journal entry. Travel reports by Nesto and Dawn. Assemblage of journals that Nesto and Dawn had over to me. I received it in a small box. Inside was Silver Disc 2. What? Why do they have a small box combining their travel journals, and why is there a small disc in there? I got a lot of questions. I think the Silver Disc comes up as part of something that happens in the mines. We're gonna run up top. We're gonna train up some skills. We're gonna get the beast looting. We're gonna hand in the pliers. And then, I'm debating going for the mine or going to clear out the guys because that's gonna get us the better armor first. Yeah, it really is a good evil renegade design because, like, I thought I was just gonna be saying, like, oh, I'm staying alive. It's like, as long as there's good to do. And I get part of that is because Benedict was going to go train to become a nondescript hero of the realm. And I guess for some, like, to some extent, she feels like she's taking on his role, right? Oh, and yeah. All the areas you meet outside are crawling with assassins, by the way, after you've, like, been through with the initial setup. It doesn't really feel like some survivors in the woods, and honestly, like, I don't even know if I get XP for killing these guys. It just feels like filler and using it for the combat. Oh yeah, I do. Alright, well, you know. Can't say no to XP. And hey, he had some dried fruit on him. Yeah, it's a fucking Assassin City.
Good thing they're waiting for you to strike before striking their own. And they're also waiting for their partner to strike too. It's very good.
Yeah, like they're, oh shit. They're fucking me up a little. Alright, popping that salve. Fuck. I did not come that close to dying in that fight previously. But hey, level 3. Killing is good. I'm gonna loot their asses, liquidate their shit. I think the Gladius is slightly better damage-wise than their shit, but the Moonblade is better than the Gladius in damage-wise. But you can't use your sword skills with the Gladius, with the Moonblade. So it's all fuck around. Hey Leon, how you doing?
One day, I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to change things. You'll see.
The invincibility frames on the roll, yeah. So I'm gonna pull up the character sheet. Oh, Pat, that shit looks dope.
Yeah.
I especially love like the circular symbol with the flanged little like thingies off of it. Right on. Points into strength, one more level up.
You mean the Lunar Angel Suen?
Mm-hmm. So we come here. It looks very the sun again cutting through. We can see Venice in the distance. Pretty nice. And it's like, hey, that's the direction you're going. That's Venice. You're playing to Venetica. Go to Venice.
Amazing.
All roads lead to Venice. It's obviously sort of like a blodgy mass in the skybox due to our distance and limitations of the game. The day-night cycle exists. Yeah, it is a very nice. That was a nice feature. We've been warned against going out at night in the mountains because there's demons. We don't have the Moonblade set up yet, so avoid that. We're gonna come down to Brawler, spend our skill points, take a fucking nap.
Hey, Scarlet, back.
Teach me new combat skill.
It's not much, but it's a start.
So okay, yeah, teach you the combat skill of fucking flaying an animal. Please and thank you. We need a little bit of sword mastery to get to the sword block. And he's not gonna train us in no mental skills. Got the physicals, we got our stats, we got our quest items. I'm gonna blow our whole load here and get sword mastery up to 2 so I can get better sword combos. We're 3 points stronger, we can block, we can fight. I have some things to say about the first main boss, but let you be it first. Is it the one that I'm going to have to use the Moonblade against, or are you talking about the assassins off to the side? I guess that's not a main boss. Well, blocking is... It's annoying that blocking is a skill.
Probably one of the 4 people that we saw, or 5 people, I guess, that we saw in the beginning.
She says no, but you know what I mean. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if it feels too early to display it, but I know from the guides there are 5 chapters to this game, so it would make a lot of sense if, you know, you fought one of the 5 each chapter, you know? Leading up to the big bad, the end of Darkon. It would certainly fall from you. Oh yeah, oh wait, they are chilling in town until I tell them to go meet in my tunnel. But they said it didn't, but whatever. We're gonna offload our copper ore here because she said she wants to buy it. It's whatever. Maybe someone else wants it later. I don't care. Lurb has warned us to hold on to the mushrooms, but I sold them in my first playthrough. I'm holding on to the amulet because I'm paranoid. Apparently, because I ran out of salve, it's not going to put salve in that slot until I drag it back down again. I like how other games like smoke a plant. Here it's like, no, just rub a cream. Not a poultice, no. Alright, so we'll talk to Mateo.
Hey, how can I help you?
Yeah, so I picked up a cooking recipe in a bit. You can cook in this game? I had no idea. Give him his pliers.
I found your pliers.
Ah, great. And while you were gone, I've had a chance to fix my bellows. I am a smith again. Well, an unpaid blacksmith in a burnt-down village.
Alright, so we turn it in.
Hey, how can I help you?
Again,
I like how they're really sowing the seeds of discontent here with this dialogue. Very, very strongly implying that he will join you in Venice.
Yeah. He's like, fuck this town. We want to customize my armor.
Can you customize my armor?
Sure.
It's an interesting way to put it.
Everybody needs a blacksmith.
I'll come back later.
Oh, I don't have custom armor. I'm gonna show them the broken moonblade.
Moonblade, but it seems to be broken.
A moonblade.
So
the legends were true.
Can I touch it?
Can I touch it? This is amazing. Where did you get this thing?
I can mock his disbelief, tell him about the forest house. I think top left is the dick answer. Bottom left is the whatever answer. Top right is the tell him about the forest home. Oh, that is true. And they always put it like that. Then I did choose the dick answer for the thing. Usually it costs money to touch it, my friend. Usually costs money to touch it, my friend. Lurb, indeed. I mean, all I'm going to say is Mateo really does make choices when he makes this clothing for you. So, tell him about the forest house.
It was an heirloom waiting for me in the forest house.
That's not a very believable story. You scarcely knew the old guy. Either way, I'm afraid this thing is broken. So, unless it... and only the miners at the copper mine down in Ivy Creek... You may...
Can I help you some?
I don't think so. You've done everything you can.
Goodbye.
So, for the sake of completeness, I've actually never gone out at night without the moonblade. And I haven't really encountered the shit wandering the hills. I feel like I'm gonna rest just enough to show us that and save beforehand. And see if our old lady's warnings bear weight. I'm gonna go out. We're gonna go out. It's definitely gonna be decidedly nighttime. Energy fully recovered. Don't forget your friend, F5. True, I can quick save. Bam. So Lilia will be away at night. This guy plays a guitar at night. That's kind of cool. They do have day-night cycle behaviors. Merchant's in the way. He's strumming. Is Mateo's still in his shop?
Out for a bit of hunting, and the mountain passes.
Please, I need to...
Fine.
How could she come back?
There'd be the dialogue. Go ahead and come up ahead. So is it gonna be like a ghost that jumps me? There's lots of assassins up there. Maybe she was overstating the danger, or it's more like in the areas beyond. Go down a little. Ooh, pick up copper ore. There's copper ore spread all over. I mean, maybe it's not as hardcore as I was assuming it was when a person in a video game made their first order of business to warn me not to go out at night. Devil's Cap. What a name for a red mushroom. Well, we're headed to the copper mine next anyway. Let's go meet the old man of the mines. Where we hear an incredible rush of a waterfall nearby. Very safe for mining, I'm sure. We're here. We're looking fabulous, of course. What's that little, like, is that like part of the pants, or is it like a special under the belt she's wearing?
Yeah, I looked at that for a while too. I think it's like,
and she's got a similar, she's got a similar matching look. Look, hey, at least they weren't the cliche cave full of glowing mushrooms. True. No, I like the name, and she's got matching like red like armbands tied, and she's got like, I mean, she's got some drip. Like, she's got a whole fit. She's pulling up to the con like dressing.
Oh, good day. What the hell are you doing down here?
A greeting. Oh, good day. What the hell are you doing down here? Moonstone.
Do you know anything about a moonstone?
A couple of days ago, I would have laughed about this old bedtime story, but our digging machine broke through a wall and revealed a very mysterious chamber. Maybe this is what you're looking for. You can just follow the pipes over there. They will lead you there, but take care.
Yeah, a nice, like she looks like she's going for a good night out, right? Just not a good night out on the adventure murder circuit. But to be fair, this is the clothing that gives no protection. Oh, the delve. Right, this is the guy who took the skill so I can fucking, skin. Yeah, let's read the intro and the beasts from the You learn... You learn that they are mostly harmless as long as you avoid their charge attack. See, I'm in this place where it's like, I like the drip, but like, there's a bit of a sense that like, we're definitely not objectifying our fixed female protagonist, but you can also give your fixed female protagonist like cool clothes and it's not a problem. The whole like, yeah, outfit system is surrounding there like a strong vibe that it would not be the, like, I don't think they would have done this if this wasn't a female protagonist. Shame, because like I don't dislike the system conceptually. The only thing I dislike about its implementation thus far really is like the shit the dude said about his own daughter. Yeah, here we are. This dude tells us about a mining machine hit some weird thing, which means introduces to some weird steampunk technology. I don't know if that's going to be a thing in other locations, but like, he says to follow the pipes, but the pipes immediately diverge left and right. So, you know, he's full of shit.
Wasn't there like a rodent in here? That's like gonna try and eat you.
It's like, it's got, oh yeah, so the Delvers, right? They have like a porcupine body, with like a boar snout and tusks. Like,
what are they supposed to mine with, or like delve with? I'm assuming they're like rock mining.
Well, they've got like
things.
They've got pretty serious claws, but I don't know if that sort of a claw would be used to dig.
It doesn't really look like one.
Yeah, like I would expect a very different looking. I wouldn't expect anything that could fucking chip to be used for digging.
Yeah.
That is that big anyway, right?
Definitely.
So yeah, I mean, we don't know. We know they're called Delvers. We know that they infest this mine. I mean, shit looks like it could have been wandering outside and then busted in the violence. We know that the digging machines that were used breached some sort of place, and he was like, "Oh, you're crazy. We're after the Moonstone," or so I would say. A few days ago, we found this stuff, so maybe you're not crazy. We're gonna fucking whip this out, right? The Moonblade Resurrection. Inadequate with it. Literally, like, three of our non-bolded quests, the bold quest being the Undead Archon, which I think is just, like, complete the game, is inadequate smithy. So, like, we know Mateo longs for new smithy in Venice is a quest for us. Reaching Venice is also a quest. So, you know, in case you ever... They give you a lot starting off, but they give you a decent amount. You work through it. It winds up being more interconnected than I would expect. It doesn't feel like any of the quests send me on a waste of time errand. Also, I'm pretty sure if I can talk to the guy about clearing out the mines and make it a quest. I don't know if cleaning it out first gets me the reward, so I'll be sure to do that. But yeah, overall, interesting setup. Not the best execution, or in some places conception, but fun enough. Let me talk to you real quick.
Oh, good day.
I think I'd say I don't really know what I'm doing down here to get the quest to kill the monsters.
Actually, I don't really know.
Well, then you'd better leave this mine, because it's a dangerous maze. Come back another time.
Oh, no, actually I don't. How do I get the quest to clear out the place from him? Maybe it's after I have, alright. Well, I ran away from... Oh, wait. Oh. So now that I've had the conversation where I said I don't know what I'm doing here, which is a bit of an interesting dialogue choice to pick ever, I can go back to him and then get it? Oh, this is a mechanic across a couple of NPCs. Okay. So I have to say some shit to someone and then walk away and then come back. Do I have to load another cell, or will I be able to do it just having run around in here? Oy vey, a couple of NPCs.
Oh, good day.
Oh, good day. What the hell are you doing? I'll again ask.
Actually...
No.
Well, then you'd better come back and...
I'll try stepping outside and stepping back in. I think there might be a dialogue you have with another person in town that results in it, honestly. Like a miner in town who's like, oh, we can't mine. And then you talk to him as a second part of it. You butchered your way through the mine.
Oh, good day.
Actually...
Well, come back and...
Can you do me a favor? Can you do me a favor, kill all the things you've already killed? Or did it respawn them? Based on my first impressions of this game, I'm gonna guess it was a quest that was done. I'm gonna guess it was like a moonstone or something. You goddamn poltroon. I killed him. Oh! I also love like the presence of the I understand like the gameplay purposes of the Smash, but I love the presence of the vases, like pottery urns in a copper mine. Like I don't know how that one's gonna work out for you, Chief. Copper ore is also just like a laying around item to gather to sell for money. It's good to know that some of these items, like the non-consumable like foods and stuff, could be crafted if there's a cooking system. Copper ore, I don't know. Can you pet the dog? Can you smash the pot? Yeah, those are the primary concerns of the gamer. Okay, now I wonder where the strange moon opening is. Oh yeah, here's the digging machine, right? What do we think this nozzle does? And what even are these like wet-looking spikes? Why are all these fucking... There's Roman coins in all these fucking vases. Imperial chest is locked. But yeah, as you can see, there's this weird hanging like purple vine thing. Yeah, like drill bits, but what are you made out of? I mean, I can kind of see how it works. I'm just like, I have more questions than answers, and I really hope we get to see it animated at some point. Enter a sacred site. Alright, on to the sacred site. Interesting place to just be accessed via a mine. I thought that it was nighttime right now. This is like a place outside of... No, it's daytime. Interesting death pillars. Interestingly, headless gateway idol. Statue is broken. Surrounded by skulls, and she's got no head. Stone fragment. See that? We somehow just pick up a broken off stone statue's head and slap it right back. It's fine. I'll accept a degree of magic here, but it's not really illustrated in any way. It's just like a puzzle item. And hey, who's that behind us? It's old Benedict. The music is like...
You found me!
So positive. The voice acting, you found me, is terrible. And his initial walk-in feels menacing.
It does.
And I wonder if they're actually setting up, like, maybe this isn't really, like, Benedict. Maybe this is, like, some sort of, like, situation where someone's impersonating him?
Benedict.
Benedict. I'm so glad that you found me.
I felt you with me all the time. You were never really gone.
All the time.
As much as I wish that were true, I'm afraid it can't be. I'm no longer of your world, but I found a way to reach out to you, to talk with you, and and I can help you on your mission.
So I'm talking to him right now, and I can say, I will avenge Benedict's death. I want to be with Benedict again, and I will fulfill my mission. Yeah, so much chemistry.
When can I be with you again?
Soon, my love, I promise. But for now, things must stay like this.
When can you be with me?
You can't let
soon,
your
my
feelings
love,
for me
I
cloud
promise.
your judgment. From here, I can offer you far more help than I could in your world.
Benedict, I'm just so lost and confused. How can I
Him
ever
saying
go
that
on
she'll
without
be with
you?
him soon
Just remember to let your heart
has
rule
a
your head.
really
I miss
interesting
you.
I'll always be
context
here.
here.
Don't go.
Here, take this with you. It's a gift. A power to help you on your quest. Use it well.
What a weird emphasis upon power. Yeah, some of the characters get a lot more facial animation and body animation. And I just don't think that they bothered with Benedict as much, because even though he's an important plot character, you just don't see him as much doing things outside that one wholly staged fight scene. As we can see, we can go to the death dimension with this new power he's given us. The passage. We see these runes, we enter the Nexus portal. Pop out of the Nexus portal. We find ourselves in this weird cavern with spikes. And, oh, it's a bit of the moon. Hello, Moon Core. Moonor from the Moon Core. Where are we? Are we on the moon? Are we at an impact crater from a bit of the moon? Someone come out and built these pillars, or they just part of the portal or whatever. I know, we re-enter the passage. We pop back through the Nexus portal.
Rad.
The passage, oh yeah, you can like assassinate, kill people, you can find stuff. The passage is actually one of the really interesting abilities and mechanics of this game. Actually, can you passage through the bit of this mine? By the way, Pat, I'm assuming you're, are you going to be up much longer, or are you looking to go to bed?
I'm going to sleep pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm going to wrap this shit up when we're back in town, and we can either go another dive and another time. Here's the real test. Is he's going to decide that he wants us to wipe out the Delvers now.
Hey! Come over here!
Hey, come
I
over
guess
here.
by
Yeah.
now you've found out how dangerous it is down here. See? Oh, fate is unforgiving. There is still plenty of copper.
Maybe I can help you and take care of them.
I think we need a fighter for this.
I think we need a fighter for this. Oh yeah, fuck you. You're the one who just gave me the quest. So yeah, lots of people underestimate Scarlet. I think that's going to be a theme. Going to be interesting to see how the reputation system plays into that, if at all. Because obviously it's going to be generic dialogue, I'm assuming. And also if this is just like, she's level 1 coming out the starter town untrained. and they are going to give her that respect. But, you know, it's a video game. I feel like they might lean one way or the other. Alright, so to round it off, I think we're at the Moonblade, and then let's use the passage in front of the spooky church and see what happens.
Hey, how can...
I've got the ore. Now can you fix the Moonblade?
Can this be true?
Can you fix it now?
Fix the Moonblade? Am I an armorer or a tinsmith?
Right.
Oh, of course I can fix it. Wait here.
You know what video game this reminds me of?
What?
Because it pertains to a village that suffered.
Matt Nui Online Game
sort
2?
of- How did you know?
The dramatic music is playing. We're seeing time go by. Mateo is tinking away with the moon core.
Nothing interesting would have been
An
done
exceptional
otherwise
weapon in the
this
hands
day.
of a blessed
So we
warrior.
will
An
skip
exceptional
This
weapon
is
in
the
the
last time
hands of a
I
blessed
dare
warrior.
hold it. Here,
Last time I dare hold
take it. May it bring you more relief than harm.
They're being so weird about it because there's on one hand like, oh, the cursed blade, and then she's like, and now he's like, oh, the heavenly blade in the hands of a holy warrior. I dare not touch it again. Like, what's going on here?
Heavenly blade.
Fine.
So
Now I have
pure.
all I need.
I dare not
That's
touch it
good
again.
news.
I'm tainted
We'll wait
with
for
my
you at the
sullied
end. See you there.
flesh.
And she's not.
So sullied.
Yeah. Okay, they were listening in, so I said we're ready to go. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit more to do, but I think that we're winding down for the night. It's really late where we are, so I'm just gonna walk up here, and I'm gonna look at this this burning church, and I'm gonna use the passage. And what do you know? There's a Nexus portal on the door to the church. I'm gonna pass through the Nexus portal and find myself in secret room. Wow. Interesting that the door to the church takes me to this shrine pillar with all of...
I like that they just made that one skull pillar asset and
yeah.
they reuse it constantly.
I mean, to be fair, you know,
Like,
hashtag us.
As somebody who does maps and tile stuff, like I totally see what they did there.
And you can tell this is a room that has a door and a texture that's bricked over the door. And yeah, this is just interesting. The church leads you here. We turn it back on. The Nexus portal is over the door. We go back out the Nexus portal. Yeah, I haven't done too much exploring with the passage, but I know they do the whoosh, 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 whoosh voices around, and I was like, what the fuck is that? It was an interesting use of audio cues. Although there's also a case in the game design where you want to add a visual element as well, because people who are hard of hearing or deaf, or otherwise playing the game mute, would not be able to get that cue as to where it is, and they need to just probe blindly. Or probe, yeah, what I was saying. In review, GameClub is going to talk about this game on a call in like 1 week. This week is Chapter 1. I showed you most of Chapter 1 here. Chapter 2, I don't know, it's like I haven't gotten to it yet. Lirb's gotten into it, I believe. Around Monday, everything in Chapter 1 is going to become weapons free and not spoiler tagged. So Lurb will be more free to talk about what we found and all the likes. We'll be putting this out in part for people who aren't going to play the game, but who might want to follow along. So yeah, thank you for everyone who's been here, who's watched. I don't know if there's anybody live who would appreciate...
Matty Morks is live.
We're raiding fucking Matty Morks. Alright, boom, done. Alright, well, I'll catch you all on the flip, Blurb. Happy to talk Venetica with you, and happy inaugural Game Club. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how we dive into this text that is the game. Overall, I think I'm still getting a grasp on what the game is going to be like. And there's some promise and there's some worry, and we're just seeing how it all shapes up. Anyway, catch you on the flip. We raiding.